Welcome back to Coach's Corner East at the Pizza Hut in Gallion. And my name is Mike Sparks. I'm your host again. Tonight, show is brought to you in part by Steve Kurtzman and Associates at Innovative Recycling, 352 South Street in Gallion, Coach Tim Plumley at Mohican Sports Medicine in Bucyrus, and John Cross at Cross Carpet and Custom Floors, 302 North Seltzer Street, downtown Crestline. Colonel Crawford, portion of tonight's show, head football coach Jake Bruner joins me and some players as well. Welcome back to the show and heading into week 5. Thanks for coming.
Thanks for having us.
Nice win on the road over at Bucyrus, a team and a school that you were at for quite a few years, and we talked last week, said, it's not going to be any difference. I've been to that place before as an assistant, and it ended up good on your side as well. You get the win 63-12, now 4-0 overall, 1-0 in the Northern 10 Conference. And when I was reading the article in the Telegraph Forum, certainly you would have a lot of praise for your own team. You gave a lot of praise to Bucyrus and Coach Tim Plumley and what they're doing. You made a comment. Tim did a great job calling plays tonight. They were patient, and I thought at times they kept us at bay. Bucyrus is a better football team. Talk about that a little bit.
I just thought, Malachi Bayless has been their quarterback, I think, for third year here now. He's a junior, and, I thought he's matured a lot. I think he is better in the pocket. He's more poised in the pocket. He threw the ball extremely well. He got rid of the ball in incomplete passes, but got rid of by throwing out of bounds 1,000 times just to keep
smarter.
Smarter, and more mature. And I just thought that the receivers ran good routes. They tried to run the ball and I think they got a couple runs here and there on us. And I just felt like they were more patient. I thought Tim was doing a great job. And we're in a league and we all know each other. And I know how hard coaches work. And sometimes you see growth and you want to make sure you tell others about it.
Yeah, absolutely. And good on you for sharing that. Micah Thomas, 11-yard run. Trevor Vogt with a 33-yard reception from Cam Lohr, and Gabe Thew with a 29-yard interception put you up 21-0 early. And it's kind of been, broken record's not the right thing to say because that makes it sound like something's wrong. But it's been kind of that thing, that same start over and over again, hasn't it been?
It has. We didn't feel like we had that same start against East Knox on the road. I felt like our players responded Friday night and had a great start and a great finish. We haven't felt like we finished the way we wanted to, but I thought we finished Friday night and started the way we wanted to, so we were pretty pleased with that.
For Bucyrus, Joe Rager caught a 27-yard pass from Malachi Bayless late in the first quarter before Trevor Vogt got a second TD catch in the first quarter from 24 yards out, and you build a comfortable 28-7 first quarter lead. You tacked on 3 more scores in the second quarter. Vogt was busy again with a 47-yard punt return. Matt Kleinard, 40-yard touchdown run. Tanner Dyer, a 1-yard run. And once again, you get the running clock before halftime. It's 49-12, and you're on your way. And when you look back at that, you're going into the locker room, you're talking to the guys, you're talking to your coaches. It's kind of like as scripted, right?
It is. I thought our kids were pretty upset actually at defensive halftime, just because they got a score on us across the middle in the post play, and then they got us on a jet sweep. And I told our guys, I get that you're frustrated they scored, but they practiced too, and we got to respond and understand that it's 49-12 at halftime. So at the end of the day, let's just finish the way we need to, and they did. So I was really proud of them. And you want kids that get mad when the other team scores, but at the same time, you got to give credit to other teams sometimes and understand they do practice, and we make mistakes. We have to learn from them.
In situations where you've had, of course, 4 weeks with 4 running clocks, is there a conversation with your assistant coaches before you go in and talk to the kids of how many series do we want to play our starters in the third quarter? How far do we want them to go? It's now going into halfway through the regular season. Do we want to rest them a little more? Are those conversations taking place?
We do. At the same time, it's difficult, and running clock makes it difficult too. We had some seniors Friday night that didn't play a lot of snaps just because we were in different packages and different things, and they didn't do anything wrong. We love them to death, and unfortunately, just weren't in a lot of plays that we needed to. And then when we put the younger kids in, they don't get reps. So it's a good situation to be in, but at the same time, it can be frustrating. So we've got to work on those things always.
Yeah, and conditioning-wise, hopefully you're doing enough of that in practice, because there's going to be times maybe in a couple weeks where you're going to have a game that those kids are going to have to play 4 quarters. And do you ever have concerns that can they go 4 quarters?
We do. We talk about that with our conditioning drills and what we do in practice, that, hey, guys, we've been fortunate, but, we're planning on playing 4 quarters Friday night against a good Seneca East team. So we stress that conditioning this week in practice even more than we already do.
Eagles come out scoring in the second half. Thomas, a 2-yard run in the third quarter. Connor McMichael, 26-yard run in the fourth quarter. How much pleasure do you get to see these kids, these younger kids that are getting Friday night experience, get success by getting in the end zone?
A ton. There's nothing better than a coach that can play every kid on the field on Friday night. We didn't get everybody in on Friday night, and I apologize to some of our freshmen that didn't get in just because it's tough with the running clock. But at the same time, it is varsity football, and as we have freshmen and JV too. So,
Cam Laurier, quarterback, just 4-6 throwing, 103 yards, 2 TDs, plus 8 rushes for 69 yards. Do you really want him to run that much?
He's a good runner, and we didn't have to run him a lot last year. We did a little bit, but we do want to showcase him because sometimes people are trying to take things away. So when you have the quarterback, it gives another dimension to the running game.
Yeah, absolutely. Tanner Dyer, 12 totes, 75 yards. Micah Thomas, 7 rushes for 70 yards. And Trevor Votes just doing a lot of special things. 3 receptions, 70 yards, 2 touchdowns. You had 417 yards total offense, 314 on the ground, 103 through the air. Bucyrus, 214 total yards, just 42 rushing. But again, Malachi Bayless, one of the top quarterbacks in the Northern 10 Conference, threw for 129 yards. And I guess looking at the statistics, the only thing that could maybe take away a little of the luster, he had 10 penalties for 95 yards. Was it aggressive penalties, lack of discipline penalties?
I felt like our kids were most of them were aggressive penalties that I can remember. I can't remember a non-aggressive one, so I wasn't worried about it personally. There was a lot of flags both sides of the ball Friday night. So.
Okay. Take a break here before we talk to the young men around the table. Show's brought to you in part by Terry Gribble and Associates at your Gallion Community Center, YMCA. Dr. Erica Schieber at Bucyrus Veterinary Service, 222 West Mary Street, Bucyrus. Rod Steiger and Associates at Pizza Hut at Gallion and Bucyrus. Host of our show since 1992. And Luann Krebs at River's Edge Embroidery. Screen printing and signs, the official foam board t-shirt provider, Route 309 across from the Marion Depot. Jude Thew is a junior. Welcome aboard. How are you tonight?
Good, and you?
Good. And positions you're playing on the team?
Offensively, I play strong guard, and defensively, I play defensive tackle.
Defensive tackle, okay. Are you starting on both sides, or are you coming in?
Coming.
Okay. And you're getting a lot of playing time, though, I suspect, because your starters are getting a little bit of a break. Is that hard to kind of come off the bench and get to full speed, or are you ready, raring to go, get me out there as soon as you can?
We're ready because we practice that and during practice, and we're mentally prepared and stuff like that.
As you've gone into the season and you're this is going to be week 5 coming in, you're 4 weeks in, has anything really surprised you about the success that your team has had, or you kind of expected that?
No, we kind of expected that, but our team is physical enough, and we just kind of be who we are.
So you've had fairly easy games, at least from the scoreboard standpoint, maybe not so. This one's going to be a little tougher. Seneca East is playing really good football. They have been a really good team. Anything really stand out to you on film that concerns you about the Tigers from either an offensive or defensive standpoint?
We just got to be more physical. We got to contain the QB, and we're going to be ready. We got to contain the draw.
Yeah, that QB does quite a bit, Mr. Foose, and we'll talk to Coach Bruner about him. Well, good luck. I think you're on the road again, right? Another road trip. Are you getting tired of that, of being on the bus every Friday?
We're road warriors.
Yeah, wherever you have to go and play. Well, good for you. Good for you. Thanks for coming. I appreciate it.
Thank you.
Brennan Reber is next, the sophomore. Positions on the team, Brennan?
Offense, I play quick tackle. Defense, on the defensive end.
Defensive end. Do you prefer one side of the ball over the other?
Yeah, I like defense a little
Defense, okay. Why so?
I just like being a little more aggressive.
It's less when you have the follow, but I just like being more aggressive overall.
Okay. Now, you're getting some varsity snaps because of the clock situation, is that true?
Yeah.
Okay, and then playing some Jamie on Saturday?
Yeah, I'm starting with JV.
Okay, how's that season been going so far? Let's just touch on that for a moment.
We're doing good. We're undefeated so far. Our defensive ends,
Bucks, inside guys, we're all doing pretty good. Offensively, we just got to keep running the ball and jam it down. We got to just keep going. We got to be more physical.
All right. Now you're really getting into the teeth of the Northern 10 Conference. I believe it's probably always the coach's intention that you want to win conference first. The rest will kind of take care of itself. Games are going to start getting tougher. You're going to play some, no disrespect to Bucyrus, you're just going to play some tougher teams coming on, and it starts this week. Have you changed up anything in practice to increase that intensity?
Yeah, I think we have. I think we're trying to push it a little harder. We're getting a little more conditioning in during practice, just overall, because we know they're going to be a hard team to face, but we think we can take it down.
All right. Well, good luck. Have a good trip up to Attica. Come home with a win. You bet. And next up, Tim Faulkner's back for the second week in a row. It's great to see you again.
See you again too.
It's really the pizza, though, isn't it?
Nope.
But it helps, doesn't it?
It does. Sometimes.
Well,
Sometimes.
at least you're honest. Another game, Coach talked about Bucyrus and gave a lot of respect to Bucyrus. Did you feel that they're a better team?
Yeah, they always, as Coach said, they practice too, and they work hard. They work as hard as we do, probably even harder. So I give them my respect for working as hard as they can to do as much as they can and go as hard as they can against us. And
When you look at your offense and you see how dynamic it is between Cam throwing when he has to, also running, then you got great backs, then you got a guy like Trevor Vogt. I mean, when you sit back and you look, wow, we got a lot of weapons. You can go ahead and try to stop everybody else in the league, but we just have something else up our sleeves. Do you think about that, talk about that?
not really, because I think that if the teams can sometimes like shut the team down if they have the right strategy, but we always try to work around it. And we figure out what they're doing, and we'll find our own way to get past that.
Okay. Seneca East on the road coming up, a team that can be difficult, of course. They've had some really good teams, really well-coached team. Ed Phillips does a nice job, he and his staff. From an offensive standpoint, you guys being on offense, what struggles or concerns do you have with what their defense can do to you?
We're struggling on how big they are to try to contain them from going inside of us to go to our quarterback or running backs to stop the run and make sure we don't let them touch Cam at all. We don't want our quarterback to get hurt.
Got to give them the white glove treatment for sure. All right. Well, good luck. Enjoy it up there, and then you're finally going to be home for a little bit. Thanks for coming. Take another break, and we'll come back and wrap it up with Coach Bruner. Show's brought to you in part by Don Barn Associates at Galleon Building and Loan Bank, Matt Studer at Spitzer Chrysler Dodge Jeep Ram and Kia, 1 mile east of the Richland Mall, Mark Osborne and Associates at E-Crane International, serving worldwide markets from the Galleon Industrial Park. Coach, real quick, JV freshman junior high report. How are things going at the lower grades?
Good. Like our 7th and 8th grade split yesterday with Cary. We beat their 7th grade. They beat our 8th grade. I think besides that, we've won every game except maybe our 7th grade dropped to Seneca Mohawk 22-20. JVs are undefeated, so we feel good about what we're doing. Freshmen didn't play this week, didn't have a game. So
okay. Health-wise, going into this week, we're 4 weeks in.
We got some we got some guys banged up, getting some guys back. So we got just a couple guys, but typical things.
Yeah, on the road again, and before you get to have 4 out of the last 5 at home, with a short trip to Winford in between. But this is a different beast here. This is Seneca East. Coach Ed Phillips, as I mentioned, just does a really nice job with that team up there. 3-1 overall, 1-0 in the Northern 10 Conference. And what surprised me, like they did last week against Upper Sandusky, and I believe they did against Northwood, fall behind early, but find a way to persevere and come back. So my point being is, if you get up early, you can't rest on your laurels that they're done.
Well, they've been the cardiac kids. I mean, they've done a great job. And like you said, Ed's staff and him has been there before. They've had a lot of great teams. And, they're 3-1 for a reason. We got our hands full. They're playing with a lot of confidence. They got a lot of athletes, and then they got a lot of size. And Mason Fuchs is doing a great job running the ball, throwing the ball, punting the ball. He's one of the top rushers. He is the top rusher in the league, one of the top throwers in the league, one of the top punters in the league. So we've got our hands full Friday night.
Yeah, about 30 points a game, 29.3 points a game. They give up about 28. They average 188 on the ground, 211 through the air, almost 400 total yards of offense. It's a top offense in the Northern 10 Conference from a yards per game standpoint. As you mentioned, Blake Foos, second most efficient passer, 60 for 105, just about 800 yards, 10 TDs, only 4 picks. He's also the leading rusher, 93 carries for 532 yards, 125 a game, 6 touchdowns, and he's, as you said, the leading punter, 41 yards per punt and 14 attempts. And Austin Perry, top receiver, 58.5 yards per game and 3 TDs. Do they want to throw first and then run second?
And that's a great question. I think they're really balanced, which makes them really tough to defend. They're multi-formational. They've run that offense for a long time. They always have a little wrinkle, a little trick play for you. They do a great job with tempo. They've always got something up their sleeve. And give their coaches credit. Their times are good and patient on the ball, and then there are times they'll throw vertical on you. So that's what makes them dangerous. And we're gonna have our hands full in Attica Friday night.
What worries you about the defense that they may deploy against you to shut you down?
Just that they're willing to commit a lot of bodies, and they're willing to try different things, and then they try to confuse you, and they always have people that run to the ball well. In their size, we're going to have trouble moving some of their guys. They're got some guys that are very, 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 very big.
Well, good luck. It is the WBCO game of the week, so any fans that can't make it to the game, you can catch it on 107.5 WBCO. And next week we'll see how that one goes, and at the halfway point of the regular season. And not to look ahead, but you got a big one coming up the following week at home against Cary. We'll talk about that next week.
Thanks, Mike.
I appreciate you coming out. Take a break here. It's time for the Crestline Bulldogs right after this break.